Founder Danielle Marie, welcome to What's Your Alioup. Today, I thought we'd talk about a book I've read called Conscious Capitalism. It's about the building of Whole Foods. I wanted to kind of jump into it because I think there's a lot to learn from this particular company and the things that they have done and the way they've built their company and how they see capitalism. Capitalism is not bad. Capitalism really does a lot of good for people and gives lots of opportunity. This is a topic that's in the media quite a bit right now, and I want to talk about it, about capitalism and building your company and what that means in terms of building it in a way that you can be proud of. There's also a lot of discussion about AI, and I saw an article the other day that said, we may see soon our first solopreneur billionaire and with an AI company. And I think we have to stop for a minute and go, is that the goal? Is that a good thing? Is that what we're trying to do with our company and with our companies? And so I think I want to dive into this just a little bit and maybe put some thoughts out there and get some feedback on, what do we think about this topic and where are we going as a country in terms of how we're building businesses. So I want to talk about a couple of the quotes that are in here in this book. And, one of the first things that I think is sort of an overarching question is on page 94, they say that they're quoting, it is a mark of emotional and spiritual maturity to be able to say, I have enough. Past a certain point, it is not healthy to want more. Actually, it's kind of a sickness. And, we know that we have this challenge as people as you achieve something and you need more and you need more and you need more. And we see people be very unhappy with money this way, that it's never enough. You're always chasing something more and stopping and saying, okay, what is enough? And where am I happy? And happiness is more than money. And if you do have a lot of money, what are you doing with it that makes you happy or that helps and serves other people? So I think the big question for me is what are we doing with our business that is doing good for society, and what's the point? So for me personally, the point, of course, is my own stability. I mean, that's why we work, is to take care of our families and be able to eat and be okay. And but the other goal of a business is to give other people that same opportunity in life. And when we are talking about implementing AI in a way that it overtakes everything, and, where does that leave us? People need purpose. People need to feel a part of something and, want to have an opportunity to succeed. That is part of human nature. And when we start talking about creating companies that we can make everything so technically efficient, which, by the way, I don't think is actually possible. The human brain is something very special, and our ability to create and think outside the box and do some more complex thinking is something I don't believe AI is going to be able to replace. But I think that, having people involved in a company creates a culture and it creates a richness for a company that you can't replace with technology. So there's that. But also, what's our responsibility as business owners to society? So here's another quote that I think is important. Your job here is not just to make money for the company. Your job is to restore people to full life and health. That's what we're doing. When we grow companies and we bring people together, we're giving them an opportunity to work. We're giving them an opportunity to be proud of who they are and what they do. And if we've got a good company, they come to work every day excited to be there and feeling motivated by the mission of what the company is doing. We hope that's true, that they're picking, that you pick a company to work for that you want to be a part of and you believe in the mission that they're doing. And so I feel like sometimes a lot of the talk about AI, which, by the way, I'm not anti-AI. I think there's a lot of efficiencies with AI, and I think AI can help us to do our jobs a lot better. But taking it as far as to say, we don't need people is it's just too much. It's not the purpose of a business. So a couple other things that are said in here that I think are great. The larger the company, the greater its footprint, and therefore its responsibility to the world. I think that particular quote is really interesting because we talk about the Amazons and Google and Meta and some of these really large companies and Walmart, Target, what are they doing? And are they supporting service to the community? Are they supporting hiring people? And if we see a decline in this, I think that's a real red flag of where are we going? Because people need to be able to have opportunity. Quote from the book on page 174. There may be no more important truth in our book than this. What we collectively envision, we can create and bring into reality. Together, we create our future reality, so we should do so consciously, collaboratively, and responsibly. The good, the true, and the beautiful and the heroic can be made manifest in our world through the power of our collective creative dreams. There's something to say about people coming together and envisioning a future, and having the ability to make money and have the creative freedom to do whatever it is that you want to try to do as a group of people is tremendous. That's what moves us forward. That's why we have been as successful as we have been as a society, particularly in the United States, because we are given the freedoms to go and dream and do. And we can do that in a good way. Capitalism does not have to be negative. Capitalism can be incredibly positive and do a lot of service to a lot of people. And I think it's important that we don't lose focus of that. As we are building businesses, whether it's a small business or a large business, finding efficiencies, yes, incredibly important. Using AI, yes, important as we move forward to stay competitive and to be able to have opportunity to do more. It's a support to you for sure. But don't forget that people are at the core of everything, and successful businesses will not forget that.